and welcome to Tony Time. Well, it's good that you're here. Go get your cocktail, go get your coffee, depending on what time of day you are watching our show. We have a dear friend here. He's a new dear friend of mine. We're getting to know each other, but a very talented man, and I think you're going to really enjoy this show with Dan. Dan, welcome to the show.
Well, welcome. I didn't bring my cocktail.
Oh, damn.
Of course, it's 6 a.m., so...
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
We'll pretend it's otherwise.
We will.
It's great to be here.
It's great to have you here. So I kind of went over some of your things.
Yeah.
You do many things.
Juggling.
You juggle.
Just like you.
Yes.
Every day's a new venture.
That's right.
You get up, you don't go to the office, right? You go out and do stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same here.
Exactly. So tell me, going back in your life.
Back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a company.
Got a couple of different ones, yeah.
Tell us about them.
Well, let's go way back.
Okay, let's go way
A
back.
little French-Canadian kid growing up in northern New Hampshire. Okay?
All right.
Yeah. Did I say Catholic kid, too?
No, you didn't say Catholic.
French Catholic kid.
Okay.
Okay, now you might think I'm from Biddeford, but I'm not. It's Berlin, New Hampshire, in the heart of the White Mountains. It's remote. There's tons of snow. Winters are harsh. I think Maine winters are harsh. Northern New Hampshire is twice as bad. Grew up in a little mill town. And if you had said back then that, oh, you're going to do a lot of theater, you're going to do a lot of writing, I would have said, really? So, it all started back then. And for a while, I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
But that didn't, I got into a classroom and
It
just
didn't work.
cut the ice. So, if back then you had said to me I was going to be the murder mystery king of Maine, I would have said, you gotta be kidding me. Because one of my companies is called Mystery for Hire.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 22 years.
Wow.
And what I like to tell people is I've always done the crime, but I've never done the time.
Beretta.
Which is great
Yeah.
because I've been the suspect, I've been the detective, I've been the innocent person in the background. So 22 years ago, there was a company in town, a gentleman living out of Bridgeton, and he had a mystery troupe, and I got involved, and I said, well, this is cool, because I'd done some theater before, but this is really cool theater, because you're in an environment where you're mixing and matching with the audience. You're not up on a stage.
Right.
So I started doing some mystery shows for him, and later on he sold the company, and I took over the company. So as of last week, we did our 799th show.
Oh, my.
And interestingly enough, it was right here in Biddeford at the University of New England.
Really?
Yeah, we did it for the students. And that one was called Mystery at the Last Chance Bar and Grill. So what we do, really, we create an environment for people to have fun. One of the first mystery shows I ever did, at the end of it, a guy came up to us, to me, and said, there are two things that you do. I said, okay, what are they? Number one is that you dispel reality.
How do you do that?
Well, all of a sudden, if the show is called Last Chance Bar and Grill, you are in the Last Chance Bar and Grill. Country western music is playing out in the corner. Waitresses are walking around talking like this. And so all of a sudden, reality's gone. And secondly, what he said is you allow us to have fun and play. As adults, we don't play very much.
No, we don't.
So, got involved in that 22 years ago. My wife and I both do it. I have a daughter who does some productions with us. I have a team of about 10 actors, and we travel everywhere. So that's one big item I'm involved with. And as you know, you've done theater. With our theater, the motto of the company is when given the chance between going for high drama or a cheap laugh.
Cheap laugh.
Da, 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 da,
Cheap laugh. So now I know you do corporate events.
Yeah.
I'm just so the audience knows that they could have you at any event, really.
Yeah. We do some public events at some locations where The general public can come in. We do some shows in Augusta, in Lewiston, Auburn. We do some in Portland at a restaurant facility.
Okay.
But a lot of what we do is what I call private groups. You know, Unum Insurance Company is having a meeting of 50 of their agents from out of town coming together.
Okay.
And the opening line usually is, we want something different. We don't want just music. We've done stand-up comedians. We want something interactive. And interactive is the key,
Yeah.
because we create that environment with a particular theme. In some of our shows, we actually incorporate some of the guests as suspects, unbeknownst to everyone in the room. So if we were doing a marriage mystery, all of a sudden, you as a guest in the room would of course become the mother of the bride,
Okay.
unbeknownst to everyone else in the room. So,
Does that person know they're going to be the mother of the bride?
oh, you would,
I
but
would.
the
They-
other
they
guest
wouldn't.
wouldn't. So all of a sudden, all those people in the room that know Tony, and all of a sudden, well, I have to talk about some suspects here in the room. And of course, we have the mother of the bride, Wilma Montgomery. Wilma, I know you're very upset that your daughter's marrying this guy.
Oh, he's a jerk.
Yeah, yeah. And we take the show from there. And of course, in that environment, the fact that all of the people that know you and know that all of a sudden you're a suspect.
Brings their attention.
Oh gosh, all the attention's to you. What some of my actors say is, well, we're done for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, we continue and we guide, and again, it's all pure fun.
Now, when you're going into an event, well, of course, you would have to customize the mystery to that insurance company or...
Yeah. We pick a mystery that's in tune with their group. And by that I mean I like to know the age of the group. I like to know the corporate culture. Some corporate cultures have a once-a-year event, and they don't mind everybody letting their hair down. Some of them say, well, it's a corporate event, but remember, it's corporate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
The way I like to sample it with people is, do you want a glass of champagne or a couple of bottles of beer?
Yeah.
So
So it's customized.
yeah, we have about 15 different themes that are already in the can, so to speak.
Okay.
And what I do is often suggest those to the client. And, you know, their themes, a marriage show, Last Chance Bar and Grill, mystery at my class reunion, mystery at my family reunion, Who Killed Jolly Roger? Arr! That's the one we did at the old Orchard Beach Pier, the pirate show. And in each of them, there's a theme. In advance, we invite guests to dress in a particular costume. So from the minute they arrive, all reality is gone. The minute they enter the room, they're into that character. And what we discover, I mean, people love to be in the spotlight.
Oh, they do.
So they come dressed up in costume, and all of a sudden they kind of take over the room, and the energy just keeps moving. We have a script about this big.
Yeah.
We know we have to get from here to here, but what happens in that gap?
You can't predict.
It's, you know, sometimes we'll improv a little thing, sometimes an audience member is pulled up.
Well, I saw on your website, which I did watch for a minute, Whose Line Is It?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I love that show.
That's a whole different venture.
Now, yeah, I would say so. I mean, if any of you out there have watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? What's his name? Carey.
Yeah, it used to be Drew Carey, but...
Drew Carey, who started it, but the same people are still involved in it.
What we do on that,
Yeah.
business number 2, mainly improv. What I often do with clients, what I found is that they didn't want a full-scale mystery.
Yeah.
Because a mystery is done along with the meal.
Right.
So if you start at 7, by 9 p.m. you have eaten and had the entertainment. Some groups prefer to have after dinner entertainment.
All right.
And that's where mainly improv comes in, where we have a troupe. We often say we do it in the style of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Where we take audience suggestions and make up comedy on the spot.
Oh, it's
So that one, talk about unpredictable. My first line to any audience is, we have no idea what we're doing tonight. And the troop,
that's the truth.
and the troop in back of me says, amen, we have no idea. So I'll tell you, if you ever want to do something that really, really challenges you to the gut, it's that, because you're flying without a net.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's another little venture. In that one, one thing I particularly have fun with is going to corporate groups.
Yeah.
And I'll do training around improvisation. And it's not,
For example, give the audience.
well, the example, whenever I mention improv, people say, oh, I don't do that. I don't think quickly. I'm not funny.
Yeah, they do.
Well, improvisation is thinking on your feet. It's listening. It's working in a team environment.
Yeah.
So I take those fundamental principles of improvisation and put it into the corporate site.
Give us an example on that.
Well, the biggest thing with improv is the notion of yes and, replying to something. For instance, if you and I, let's say we were planning an employee outing.
All right.
Now, I'm going to give you a suggestion. And the first response I want you to say is no.
Okay.
And then I want you to tell me what you think.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
So, employee outing, I think we should go to Old Orchard Beach.
No.
Suggest something else.
I'd much rather go to the dog park.
Ah, no. And we can go back and forth saying no all the time.
Okay.
In a corporate world, too often
Yeah.
we say no.
Right.
What's even worse is the second item. You ready for this? It's yes, but. So
Yes.
we're going to do the same thing again, but this time, when I give you the idea, it's yes, and you get me all excited that you're going to like what I have to say, but, and then give me an alternative suggestion.
All right.
So, again, the employee banquet. Geez, why don't we spend a day in Boston?
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, but.
Yeah. So, what have we planned?
Well,
Nothing.
why don't we go clothes shopping?
Yes, but guys don't like clothes shopping. Boom, 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 back and forth.
That's
Nothing
great.
gets
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
The essence of improv, yes and it just builds. And if you watch those masters on Whose Line Is It Anyway, they take any idea and mentally say yes and add to it, as strange and absurd as the thing is. So we'll try once more. I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you start off. You give us an idea for the employee banquet, and I will say yes and you will say yes and. We'll see what we can get done there.
I have a great idea.
What?
Going to Las Vegas. for the
Yes.
employee banquet.
Las Vegas, I've never been there. And we can spend a week and tour all the countryside around there. There's a lot of different things.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, no, yes and, please.
Yes,
please.
and
Yeah,
please.
yes, and. So it's the notion that all of a sudden your idea, yes, and.
That's great.
So in the corporate setting, and in fact, in the real world, with your kids,
Yeah.
they don't clean their room.
No.
No. Are you going to clean your room? No. Well, why don't you try saying yes and? Yes, and I'll get to it in an hour. Yes, and you'll get to it now. Anyway, so what I do is I take the essence of improv to the corporate situation, and you get a bunch of people learning stuff, and they're having so much fun doing it that they don't even realize it.
That is such a great concept.
So one day it's mysteries, another day it's
But you had more
improvisation.
things on that.
Oh yeah.
You're a writer.
That's been the constant. That's been the constant since I was a little kid. I always liked writing.
Well, what kind of writing? What do you do? I saw you have written for magazines.
Here's my pitch. I am the master of 750-word articles. You know these long, extensive things that you see in the newspaper? They go on forever and ever. I couldn't write that. I could not go and spend all the time and all the research and whatever. 750 words, I can capture the essence of a person's story.
I can, yeah.
So it's usually 750 to about 1,000 words. I write for the Lewiston Sun Journal. I write for a publication called LA Metro, which is Lewiston Auburn, not the other LA Metro. I have a publication called Maine Realtor Magazine. So it's all, some are consumer magazines, some are association magazines. But the joy there, the absolute joy, is everybody's got a story.
Oh, they do.
Oh man.
Everybody from every walk of life has a story.
And what's so rewarding with that one is to sit down and say, well, I hear that you do such and such. And, you know, people like to talk about themselves.
They do.
And when they start talking, I just love hearing. The way I envision it, I hear everything coming from you. And then my goal is to package that as like a 750 word article. That's kind of a full page.
That's a challenge.
It is, but what a joy. A few weeks ago, I was in Hebron, Maine, out in the country, in the middle of nowhere. And there's this huge apple orchard. I can see all the trees there. And I went up this road, and there's a big farmhouse and whatever. The fellow runs Valley View Orchard Pies.
Oh, okay.
And I knew before going there that he made pies. And I said, okay. And I was doing this for publication in the Oxford Hills. Well, he took me into this renovated area of a three-car garage renovated area. He makes 2,000 pies a day.
Oh, my.
And he's been doing it for 30 years.
Oh, my God.
What a story.
Yeah.
He landed there. His pies go throughout New England. And what a joy to sit there and hear, how did you get into this business? What keeps you going? And then getting the free pie at the end was
just,
yeah, it was
yeah.
frosting on the cake. No, that's
Well,
not-
that's,
no, it was
yeah.
it was a pie.
It was a pie in the
So
cake.
I'm the master of 750 words. I tell my wife, I have my obituary all written. It's 750 words.
Now, is this because your attention span will only go to 750 words?
I've been discovered.
Is that your attention span is gone after you have the chunk of the story?
You know, I've never heard anyone mention it that way, but I like quick reads.
Yeah, I do too.
It's been 30 years since I read a complete book, but I read everything and anything. So I'm on websites, I pick up newspapers, things of that sort. I like quick reads.
Yeah.
And that's right in the category of 750 to 1,000 words. So I think you nailed it. I like it because that's what I enjoy reading.
Yeah, but if your attention span goes to 750 to 1,000 words, if you were to go any further than that, do you feel you would know the whole plot after that? So there's just no reason to go any further because you know it, you know how it's going to end, that's it.
After 1,000 words, it feels like work.
Okay, got it, that's
Yeah,
good.
and I tell my publishers that. They say, I need 1,500 words on this one. Okay. Just another publication I really like writing for, it's down here, it's called Tourist News.
Yeah.
It's a seasonal publication. And there I do a number of different features, but one of the best jobs there is I get to review shows at the Ogunquit Playhouse.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Or even locally, this week I'm reviewing the City Theater. They're doing Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, here in
And
Biddeford.
there, the publisher just calls and says, I've got space for 500 words. I got space for 750 words. So sometimes it's just designated by the amount of space in the publication. So writing has been great. I really love it when I'll call somebody and I'll say, I'd like to do an article. And they get very nervous
Yeah.
with anybody in the newsy type things. Well, I don't have much of a story. Give me 30 minutes with anyone, and I will fashion a story that people will just embrace and say, my gosh, I never knew you did that. So yeah, that's another part of the life.
Where did this love come from? When you were little? When you were little, did you, in school, you learned to read quickly? It just was something, it was a passion? Where did this
You know,
come from?
you're going to think this is odd.
Oh, no.
No, nothing will surprise you
No.
on Tony Time, right?
No.
My father was a mill worker. And just a regular guy. But he had the ability to schmooze like I've never seen anyone.
That's a gift.
And I think I got it from there. We would be in a hardware store, because I'd go with him to the hardware store on a Saturday morning. And he'd run into somebody, and he'd engage in a conversation like out of nowhere. So what's up with this? What's up with that? And the people would be engaged, and he was a quiet guy, but he could engage so much. And I just watched him.
Was he a people person?
Well, not really. I think that's what's interesting.
All right.
I think he was an introvert, but in those situations, he came out of his shell. So I think, it's interesting you asked that. I think he showed me that everybody has a story.
They do.
That sometimes, maybe this is the secret, sometimes just asking one question and the conversation is off your shoulder. So tell me about the time that you used to live on 3rd Avenue.
There it goes.
Yeah. So I think it was my father. I think. I don't know if my mother would be upset for me saying that, but
Well, I mean, your excitement and your passion shows when you talk about it. I mean, I can see it in your eyes. So it had to come from a core that really was rekindled inside of you as you got on with your life, as you got married and everything.
yeah, I think the combination of acting and writing just kind of melded together. And again, it's such a joy to be able to, something like Ogunquit. I mean, talk about the perfect matching of my passions. I love theater. I love the shows at Ogunquit. And by gosh, I get paid to do a review for the Tourist News. So
Can't ask for anything better than
Yeah.
that.
the other thing I do a lot is I can generate my own stories, particularly with the Tourist News. Judith Hansen has run that paper for about 25 years. And we meet once a year in April.
Yeah.
And we sit down over coffee and we talk about ideas. And the joy there is sometimes I can plant an idea for a story that I'd love to do. So for instance, I did a backstage tour of the Ogunquit Playhouse. They offer those to the public. Well, I want to do a story on that, so I did a story on that. I did a first-person story on zip lining. There's a zip lining place, I think in York, maybe.
All right.
So
Did you do it?
I did.
How was it?
It was great. I would do it again. I would do it in a heartbeat. So sometimes I have the amazing opportunity to pitch a story because I'm personally interested in it.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah. This year it's going to be disc golf.
Disc golf?
Disc golf. Did you ever, the disc?
Oh, the disc.
Yeah. It's not the,
So disc golf is you hit the ball with a disc or what?
it's a disc that goes into a bucket. It's hot stuff. It's hot stuff. I haven't done it yet, but yeah, it's disc golf. It's really for people who don't want to play the regular golf, and they go out there with their disc and call them discs. They're not frisbees, by the way.
All right.
If you ever want to get
Not
into trouble,
Frisbees.
yep,
Okay.
never frisbees, discs. So yeah, and a lot of places open them up on pastures that, they don't want to have the expense of building a golf course, so they do disc golf. So I'm going to do a first-person experience on disc golf.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
what are we doing with our lives that we've never been disc golfing?
I have no idea. Furthest thing. I've never heard of this.
Yeah. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff, and it's just so fun.
Now, your wife, how did the two of you meet?
She picked me up at a bar.
What's her name?
Denise.
Denise. She picked you up at a bar.
Picked me up at a bar. She said, "How would you like to buy me a drink?"
Yeah.
And then the second thing she said, "How would you like to drive my Saab?" A Saab. I didn't even have a car, and she had a Saab. So
Wow.
yeah. So 39 years later, it will be 39 years, probably by the time this airs, that we've been married. And she's a singer and actress, and she does all of this crazy mystery stuff along with us. She doesn't do the improv. She's petrified of improv. But she certainly has a knack for the mystery side of things.
What a great match.
Yeah. And our kid, I have a daughter who's 32. She grew up with theater geeks like her parents. And her life has never been the same with all of the ventures that we've been involved in.
Oh, what a great way to grow up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does your daughter do? I mean, with this as her background,
You ready for this?
don't tell me brain surgery.
No, but man, she is a helper plus. She works in downtown Boston for a company that helps adults with developmental disabilities.
Oh, wow.
She finds them job opportunities. She finds housing opportunities. Interestingly enough, I've done some corporate training there.
Have you?
With improvisation. And then one time as a holiday party, Christmas holiday, we did an improvisation. And it was magical. It was magical. The adults have various levels of abilities.
Yeah.
But, and I was petrified of that audience. I said, how am I going to do this? And there's another woman who does the improv with me. And she said, we've got this. And what a joyous group to perform for. They have imagination. Many of them, of course, are older in age, but their mental age is less.
Right.
So they want to have fun. And
sure.
There's this magic of just creating. It was an exceptional opportunity. We've done it twice.
My goodness. This corner of life, everybody does so many different things. But what you're talking about and how you interact with people and you really give them the freedom to play. You give them the freedom to play, to have fun.
And they take it and run with it.
Yeah. Once somebody says, all right, if you want me to do this, I'll do this. But they really want to do it.
The one thing we are careful with, and I particularly want to tell folks about this, we're careful with. Some people are petrified going to a performance like this because they think they're going to be picked on.
Yeah, yeah.
We have an amazing ability to know who not to pick on.
Yeah.
If somebody's sitting there like this, we're not going to invite them up to do
No,
a scene with them.
no.
So, yeah, people have the opportunity. What I tell clients, they have the opportunity to just sit back and watch. Mm-hmm. And those who want to get involved will self-select the minute they enter the room. The exuberant personalities, the one who loves being in the spotlight. Fine.
Oh, you can pinpoint them in a heartbeat.
Absolutely, they pop out. So, those are the people we pick on, if there's any picking on.
So we have Mystery Theater. We have improv. We have writing. Surprise us with another.
Have you ever heard of standardized patients?
Yes, I have.
Yes, of course you have. That's where I met you.
That's where you met me.
Now, here's another blend of different worlds.
Okay.
Acting and medicine.
Oh, definitely.
A friend of mine, Kathleen Nation from Monmouth, an amazing actress, by the way, she does Mystery Theater one night, and then the next night she does Shakespeare in the Park.
Wow.
I mean,
This is,
talk about talent. And one day she said, well, we were doing our pirate show at the Old Orchard Beach Pier. She said, well, I can do that show because I'm going to be down in Biddeford anyway. And I said, well, what are you doing in Biddeford? She said, well, I'm a standardized patient at the University of New England. What's a standardized patient? Well, I portray patients for medical students. And I thought, isn't this too cool? So one thing led to another. She referred me to the program, and there is a training.
Oh, there is a
Pretty
training.
extensive training to become a standardized patient. And again, it's amazing because you're helping to teach patients how to teach
yeah.
students how to interact with patients.
Yeah.
You're really doing teaching education,
You are.
but you're acting a little bit.
You are, because they give you a script, and the terminology of standardized patient is that maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 of us are doing the same thing so the students can get a grade. Everything is videotaped.
Yep.
We can add our own personality, but as long as we stick to the script of doing the same thing in each individual room.
And I don't know if your viewers do know that you, of course, are doing this throughout Southern Maine as well.
I am.
And in fact, that's where I met you.
That's in Portland.
So, it's theater. I
Yeah.
think you would agree.
Yes, it is.
You have a script.
Yeah.
You don't diverge from the script.
No, you don't.
If I have leg pain and it's here, it's going to be here. I'm not
For
going to
all 8
every
students.
student that you.
It's not going to move over here.
No, it can't.
It can't.
It really throws the students off.
It just,
So, I started that a year ago, January, with the training, and again, every day is just so interesting, so diverse, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I think the SP experience really is like doing a little mini show.
it is. It definitely is. Because luckily, we enjoy each other's company. We see each other maybe once a month, once every 3 months, whatever it may be, but we come right in and pick up, and we have a ball.
And the other side of it, the comments back from students. I mean, imagine these are medical students who they've done the textbook stuff, but real patients.
Yeah, they haven't touched people, strangers.
And I don't know about you, but I'd rather they practice on me
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
before they go into the real world and do their medical
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
So yeah, you're really helping a next generation of caregivers.
Well, you remember how they have us watch the videos of other standardized patients?
Yes.
And I said to Stephanie, I said, boy, you guys talk a lot. She looked at me. I said, you're not giving away the case or anything, but I don't talk as much as you do. And I'm a talker, but it's like I make them pull it out of me.
Yeah.
So I told Stephanie, I said, this really bothers me. I don't talk enough. So as we watch each other do our standardized patient, I noticed your feedback. I mean, you specifically pinpoint certain things. Stephanie pinpoints certain things.
Yeah.
Then they watched me do it, and it's like I'm talking to a talent, because I owned a talent agency for 30 years.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I'm coming from a different mindset. I mean, what you and Stephanie do is fantastic, but I'm coming from a different way.
And to go on that angle, I'm sure you've run into some of our compatriots who have a medical background.
Yes.
So they know the medicine so well.
Oh, they do. They do. I have to write it on my hand.
Yes. What are you on? I'm on hydrochlorothiazide.
Oh, yes.
And what's the dose?
10 milligram.
10. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I watch people who really get the names correct.
Yes.
They get the milligrams correct. I've got it on my hand in ink going, I think I'm on.
Yeah.
Because my mind doesn't work that way. I try, but I get it out there.
And we all have the same. It's interesting to use theater terms. We all have the same script. The student doesn't know their lines,
No,
but we improv along with them from.
we do.
So yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, when you're doing 8 students a day, over and over again, you know, the goal is to be as fresh as you were with the first student down to the 8th student.
yeah,
And because of our kind of background, we can do that.
yeah, absolutely.
We can do that.
To switch gears entirely,
Yes.
am I allowed to ask the host a question?
Sure you are.
Hi, welcome. This is Tony Time with Dan filling in. Dan's Dimensions.
Yes, Dan.
You've done some theater.
More commercial work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about one very special experience that you had that just stands out. It was so rewarding. It was so wonderful.
Playing Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman. Where did you play Spider-Woman?
I was the original Spider-Woman for Marvel Comics.
I keep learning things about this woman. She has a fascinating history. She's writing a book, and she had the Tony Time, and now she's the original Spider-Woman.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I can't believe this.
Well, when they developed, Marvel wanted to go and develop the character.
Uh-huh.
I was working for Playboy Models.
Hold on. We just learned something else. She was a Playboy model. Okay. Okay.
And New York called Chicago at the time where I was living, and they sent me into New York, and the costume was fitted, and they were creating this character, and I went on the road for about 3 years.
My
It was
gosh.
Spider-Man, and
Has anyone ever interviewed you on Tony Time?
no. He's flipping the tables.
Folks, I want you to contact your Access TV station and say, we want to have someone interview Tony on Tony Time. Yeah, I guess it'd still be Tony Time, but
We could call it Dan Time, too.
we could call it Time Out for Dan.
Time out for Dan.
Yes.
I like that.
I diverge. I'm taking over your show entirely.
okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just improvising my way through.
That's okay.
So really,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you had that little funny feeling in your inside that just said, "This is so much fun."
I did.
Yeah.
I did, because I was doing commercial work. I was doing a lot of things within the industry. And when this came up with Spider-Woman, you know,
Too cool.
and I did the voiceover on the cartoons, and I was killed off in comic book 34. I left my body to help a friend in another world. And then I couldn't get back into my body. I hate when that happens.
Well, you know, it's a bad day for a superhero when that happens.
Oh, it is. It is.
You know, you think, hey, I can't find my second cup of coffee, but a superhero dies. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just really. And there is a Spider-Man somewhere here in Maine that I know that we haven't connected yet. I hear about him, and I'm sure we've worked many gigs together.
wouldn't that be an amazing show here?
It'd be great to see him.
Spider-Man and Spider-Woman reunited.
Yeah, he's somewhere
What happened
in
to
Saco.
the family of spiders?
What
So,
happened to them?
I diverged entirely from your entire show.
That's okay.
You know what I do want to tell you, which is amazing, and I would say this for anyone out there. I was in the corporate world.
Oh, yeah.
I did hospital PR and marketing, and I did that for 30 years. And I loved every minute of doing that, but not in the same way that for the last 5 years, I've had the freedom of self-employment and making all those wonderful little,
It is amazing. I mean, I've never worked for anyone in my life.
really,
I've
wow.
always been self-employed.
Yeah.
From the time I was 18 up till now. And as you know, we have to get up in the morning and we may have a plan for our day, but it may change, and we're flexible. We're not the trunk of the tree, we're the branch of the tree,
Yep.
and we go with it. And that's what it's like to be your own person.
I'm envious that you've done that your entire life because I didn't. And I have no regrets for my other career, but I
No.
often sit back and say, what if all that time I had the freedom and the luxury of doing all this crazy stuff?
Well, but you really need to be, from the time I was self-employed up, it's always you have to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So you have to hustle. You have to know how to hustle.
Yep.
You have to know how to sell the Brooklyn Bridge, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Because you got to pay your bills. You have to eat. But along the way, you have fun. And it's a challenge if you're going to make it each month. I thrive on that.
You know, the minute I let go of worrying about that was the time that I have the most peace in what I'm doing.
Yes.
It's just, okay. I guess I have clients that pay well, so, or they pay on time.
They pay on time.
That's always good. So yeah,
There's something about throwing caution to the wind. I mean, but I believe that comes from trusting ourselves and knowing what we have to do. And we're not relying on anyone but us. So we don't have that middleman to worry about if they're going to like us or not.
for me, a pivotal moment too. I worked in communications in a very big, iconic Maine realtor. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay?
And my job was eliminated.
Okay.
That happens.
Yeah.
And I came home and my wife looked at me and she said, so, now's the time to do everything you love to do.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the greatest
that
gift
was a
she's
gift.
ever given me in my life. And I just celebrated my 5th year of self-employment. The only thing that's bad about that, okay, you want a recognition ceremony for your 5th year of self-employment. And
There's nobody there.
I mean, you put up a sign in your office for people to sign up for the potluck, and all I have is pretzels. It's just disgusting. But get beyond that. It's just a joy, absolute joy.
It is, and having the freedom that you have now and that I have, we know what we have to do. We know the responsibilities, but now it's not the same feeling.
And you work harder.
You work harder.
Harder and better.
Yeah. Because when you're finished, you can walk out the door and say, okay, I did that, and it was good.
Just this past week, or a few days ago, I had a deadline for publication. It was basically last week. And it was a major publication. It's the annual magazine for the Oxford Hills Chamber of Commerce. Had to get that done. Boom. That magic moment when the designer says, I've sent it to the printer. Done.
Done.
So you have the opportunity to rest, right?
No.
Wrong. Next day, I've just finished editing a publication called Travel Maine, which is about 80,000 distribution here in the southern Maine area. Boom, got that one done. Then do you rest?
No.
Well, for a day.
Maybe.
For a day. Today to be down here with you.
Right.
But tomorrow it's Maine Realtor Association magazine. And
But we set this stuff up.
yeah,
We program it to work within our calendar month. We know that we're doing something. It's like giving back to the community. You're giving back to the community. You're giving back to people for what you do and the many things that you do. All right, you're giving them information about where to go in Maine. You're giving realtors a newsletter. You're doing standardized patient, and you're giving feedback to students or interns in Portland about how they can help themselves, better themselves. You're giving back in so many different avenues. You do the mystery theater. All right, you're making people laugh. You're bringing them in.
Yeah.
Look at all that you're creating and giving out there that makes you happy, but you're having fun.
Boy, I've never had so much fun. By the way, you know what I just thought?
What?
I'm going to contact Judith Hansen, the publisher of Tourist News. I want to pitch a story about you.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh, watch. She's going to feign this. Oh my, me.
Moi.
How could I?
Moi. How could I do
ever
that?
do that? Wouldn't that be nice? Really? Here you are. You're known in this community.
Yes.
People know you.
Oh yes.
But these other little things about your background, they don't know all those little things.
No, they don't.
Well, and maybe you might not want to go there.
I had fun,
Yeah,
so I like to share it. But
I'm serious. I'm going to my publisher. I'm going to pitch a story. Tony Time. In fact, she wants more stories from the Biddeford area. That's a sign to you folks out there. She covers the entire York County area, but she particularly wants stories from the Biddeford area. Do you live
What?
in Biddeford?
Biddeford Pool.
Oh, gosh, that's even better.
Yeah.
We don't know where the pool is, but that's even better.
That's even better.
Okay, so I've accomplished something today. I'm going to go to my publisher, and who knows? You've got photos of you as Spider-Woman. Damn.
Well, I mean, I really think they should do a story on you and I. You see how I did that? I just did that. Because this is going back and forth. We're having a good, honest talk. I think it should be because we don't know each other. We're getting to know each other, hopefully to form a friendship. But as we do this, it pulls Dan in.
Now, I'm going to improv my way out of this one. Oh, no, but you're the story here. People know you down here.
Yes, but.
Yes, and, oh, gosh, we're going to
Yeah.
go for another hour. This is,
Well, we're running out of time. Would you believe
I'm
that?
sure we are. I can't believe that we've filled all this time with
We've-
chatter and whatever.
We have filled a lot. We've given out a lot of fun stories.
So what's your one last question?
To you?
Yes. And then I'll ask you my one last question.
Ooh, that's a setup if I've ever seen one. What's your next plan? What's your next creative plan?
Yikes. My publisher, John Whitney, and I, are taking the magazine that we do in Maine called Maine Realtor Magazine, and we're bringing it to New Hampshire, my home state.
Wow.
So, whereas we have the magazine in Maine that reaches about 4,000 members, we're going to go into New Hampshire and reach about 7,500 members.
Fantastic.
And we're launching that this fall.
Wow.
And one last question for you, Tony.
Yes, Stan.
You know, summer's around the corner. What are you looking forward to the most this summer? Summer 2017.
Oh my, what am I looking forward to? You mean here in Maine?
Oh, it can be just looking forward to. You're counting the days until...
Well, I am going home for a family reunion.
And where's home?
Originally home, the real home,
Well,
the grassroots
I
of
don't know.
home.
Where's the family reunion being held?
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana.
I had my family here
Dun, dun.
2 years ago.
Wow.
My cousins, 12 of my cousins, my godmother, and her husband, and we did a show. In fact, it's on my website.
Yikes.
I just downloaded it on there. And we hadn't seen each other in 30 years, but they wanted to come to Maine to see Tony. So my cousins and I grew up together, but it's funny, we saw each other as we were growing up.
Yeah.
We all know that they've gotten married, they have grandchildren, whatever. But that week together, we laughed and we giggled. So I said, let's do a show. So 3 of my cousins came on, and my godmother, or 4 of my cousins. My one cousin is very funny. Now, my godmother had 5 children. Mindy, Missy, Cindy, Kim, and Kent.
Okay.
Okay? Mindy is a twin. Her teeth are very white, hair very blonde, very Indiana, and very funny. And when she did the show here, she covered the microphone and said, "Do we get a break?" They can hear you, Mindy. And a few minutes later, "My stomach's growling. Can they hear me?" Steve brought her a candy bar. After the show was over, Mindy said, "Why did I say all of that? I lied. I lied about everything. I'm not a professional shopper. My husband isn't picking sea glass off
Oh, gosh.
the ocean." It's hysterical. So I'm looking forward.
Gary, Indiana. For a week or so?
No, 4 days.
Oh, well, I like my family 4 days worth.
Yeah. The home of Michael Jackson. We went to the same high school.
Again, Gary, Indiana. That's in the Music Man.
I know. So that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing them for 4 days.
Too cool.
Yeah.
You're in family reunion, and I'm launching a new publication. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Life is great.
Life is great. So you'll come back again?
Oh, gosh. Gosh, I would in a heartbeat.
Okay.
The highlight has been Tony time. Really, this has been wonderful. I hope your viewers find.
I hope you guys had fun because we had fun.
Yeah.
I want you to come back. Always give us updates on what's going on.
Too cool. We might well be doing some shows down here. Who knows when and where?
That's great.
But
And
I'll keep you informed.
And we can promote them here.
Sounds great.
We can promote. And you know what? You could do a show too. Yes. You could do the dance show.
Folks, I just want to remind you that in the future, Tony Time is going to take a break. And we're going to get Dan's Dimensions. And his first and only guest ever is going to be Tony herself. How many people, right out there, now, with a round of applause, how many people would like to see Tony interviewed on Tony Time?
You hear them all, huh? You say dementia? I mean dementia. Dementia.
Any different day.
You've been such fun.
Too cool.
Such fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you should do a show here. I want to thank everybody for watching our show today. I've had the best fun with Dan. He will come back. Let's get him to do a show too. I think you'll find it really interesting. So have a good day, whatever time of day it is, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.